Well, here's something I haven't done in a long time, which is an unboxing. I tend to enjoy doing unboxings of older classic games, just because people rarely have unpunched or otherwise pristine copies of some of these older games. Everybody does unboxings of the newest games because those are the ones that you're getting that are fresh and shrink, that are fun to do unboxings of. But I like to do some of the historical games, to kind of show a little bit of the history of the hobby, and also because nobody ever did unboxing games or unboxing videos of these when they were new, because nobody was doing videos because there was no internet. So here we have Central America. This is Old Victory Games title, and I want to say it's a Mark Herman design. No, he was involved, as he was involved with everything. The lighting's not so great there, but as you can see here, the actual design is James H. McQuaid, who I'm not familiar with, but you can see Mark Herman there as a developer, and probably worked on this system when it was being designed. This is Modern Warfare in Central America, Nicaragua specifically, I believe. That's what it looks like there on the map. So this particular system, I haven't played it before, and you can see the complexity somewhere between medium and very high, but some decent solitaire suitability, so I can go for that. But I have heard some decent things about this game, and it's pretty cheap to find these days from Victory Games. So as you can see, very colorful cover on it. That kind of slightly cartoonish artwork that Victory Games had back in their era, which was largely the 80s. Trying to remember when exactly Victory Games folded. I don't know if it folded at the same time as Avalon Hill. It was part of Avalon Hill, but their heyday was definitely the 80s. I think by the early 90s they were just about done as an organization. So anyway, very colorful cover with the helicopters flying through the setting sun. I guess it's the setting sun, probably not the rising sun. And a sort of lime green, almost fluorescent green cover on the rulebook. And you can see, like a lot of the Victory Games rulebooks from this era, it is thick. We're looking at 64 pages of rules, right up there with On to Paris, which I just played recently. That had an ominous 64-page rulebook, and this looks even more dense with text than those On to Paris rules. So it's like some pretty intense rules, although there may be. Let's look in the middle and see if there are charts to pull out. That was a fairly common thing from this era of Victory Games, but it looks like, no, this looks like it's all rules with green highlights. Interesting. So your unit designations in very two-tone green. Looks like an old 80s computer monitor. Black and green. If there is an index, though, that's always appreciated. So, 64-page rulebook. Here's the feedback card. Sadly, can't mail that in anymore. Intervention game rules of play. So it looks like there's a subsidiary rulebook also with a fluorescent green cover. This has how many pages? 40 more pages, so you're at 104 pages. Looks like this has designer notes in it, though, as well. political considerations. I like it. And one of the reasons I'm doing an unboxing of this is because I want to punch it out and clip it and learn the rules. So looks like I'm going to have my work cut out for me. Wow. Scenario book. Wow, another big, thick book. It's got the image of the counter manifest there on the back. 68-page scenario book. I did not realize this was going to be this intense. I guess that would be why the complexity was medium to high. Wow. Not messing around. Let's see what we have in the way of charts. The counter sheets mixed in here. Come back to those. Chart-wise, got a communist player display. Looks like you can break up your air groups, and then a big long information record track that'll probably have a bunch of counters on it. We'll do all the information. Similar thing here for the Allied player display. Yep, same kind of stuff. Air groups, counters, and so Victory Games, these are glossy counters. Victory Games counters from this era kind of had some of these, occasionally you'd see little side nibs on them. Doesn't look like these do though. Die cutting seems to be okay. Victory Games counters from this era, the die cutting could be pretty hit or miss. So, and the counters themselves would be that brown core cardboard stuff. That is not always very durable. Tends to kind of crumble on you. But these look fairly legible. Sometimes Hell's Highway comes to mind. Some of the Victory Games counter sheets could be a little illegible. Microscopic fonts. Looks like we've got charts and tables. Wow. Charts and tables booklet. Wow, the TEC. Pretty detailed. So it looks like these are, yes, they have each other on Allied player charts and tables, and then you got the communist player charts and tables. Alright, we'll do a quick look at the map here, because my video is probably going to run out of room on my phone. And here's a look at the map. It is Nicaragua. It's very colorful. Like most Victory Games maps, it's on fairly heavy stock. It tends to pooch pretty badly, so plexi usually is a requirement for these. Unfortunately, it's got the charts that face in no good direction. If you're playing solo, they're facing in opposite directions, probably thinking that, whoever's playing on one side will have them right side up, and your opponent playing the other side will have them right side up. But then, you're going to be looking at the map. It's probably going to be lengthwise between the two of you, as opposed to at opposite. You'd be on opposite long ends from each other and not opposite short ends, which means, you're going to be both craning your necks 90 degrees to make out what's in the charts. And there are a number of charts there on the table, lots and lots and lots of text. You don't see that anymore. I tend to miss it. I like a lot of charts and information on my maps. Color-wise, also very similar to Victory Games maps of the era. They had a lot of color on them, and sometimes hard to read. I think this one should be fine, though. It's compared to some I've seen, it's not too ugly. Anyway, that is a brief look at Central America from Victory Games.